February 2026. Across 14 Iranian cities, the sky is illuminated by ballistic missiles and the blinding flashes of interceptors colliding in the upper atmosphere. Decades of proxy warfare and covert operations have finally given way to a direct military exchange between the United States, Israel, and the Islamic Republic of Iran. This joint offensive, codenamed Operation Epic Fury, involves hundreds of strikes targeting military bases, nuclear facilities, and command centers across the country. To understand how this regional exchange reached such a dangerous scale, we must go back to the mid-20th century, when these three powers were actually close strategic partners. Before 1979, the United States and Israel viewed Iran as a pillar of regional stability. They provided extensive military training and intelligence support to the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, in a pragmatic alliance against Soviet expansion. That alignment dissolved in 1979. A massive wave of popular protests overthrew the Shah, replacing his monarchy with an Islamic republic. The new regime, led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, rejected the previous pro-Western stance, adopting an ideology rooted in strict anti-Zionism and opposition to American influence. Relations reached a point of no return when Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. They held 52 American diplomats hostage for 444 days, an act sparked by the U.S. decision to grant the exiled Shah asylum. By 1980, the military partnership had collapsed. The loss of its primary regional ally forced the United States and Israel to develop a new security framework focused on containing a hostile revolutionary state. For the next 40 years, both sides carefully avoided a direct conventional war. Instead, they engaged in a shadow war defined by proxy groups, cyber attacks, and targeted assassinations. Iran's strategy relied on the axis of resistance. By funding and arming groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza, Tehran created a network of proxy forces capable of striking Israel from multiple directions. The U.S. and Israel countered by combining severe economic sanctions designed to starve these groups of funding with covert intelligence operations aimed directly at Iranian territory. The ultimate goal of these covert strikes was the systematic degradation of Iran's nuclear program, which Israel views as a direct threat to its survival. This strategy of indirect conflict prevented a major war for decades, but it also built the specialized military infrastructure that would make a direct confrontation inevitable. The conflict began to move out of the shadows in late 2023. During the war in Gaza, Iranian proxy forces significantly increased direct attacks on U.S. and Israeli targets across Iraq, Syria, and the Red Sea. The escalation accelerated in June 2025 when Israel launched a unilateral military strike against Iranian missile factories and nuclear sites after the IAEA declared Iran was in violation of its non-proliferation duties. On February 28, 2026, the situation reached its tipping point. The United States and Israel launched a massive, coordinated offensive known as Operation Epic Fury. Over 500 targets were struck in a single day, aimed at destroying Iran's ballistic missile program and nuclear infrastructure. Iran retaliated immediately, launching swarms of missiles and drones at Israel and at U.S. military bases across the Gulf states. The unwritten rules that once kept this rivalry in the shadows have collapsed. The escalation ladder has reached its end, and the region is now in a state of open warfare. The strikes have left a dangerous security vacuum. Iran's leadership is fractured, while Israel's stockpiles of missile interceptors have been significantly depleted by the sheer volume of the exchange. In response to its degraded conventional military, Iran moved to physically close the Strait of Hormuz, cutting off the world's most critical oil transit choke point. 20% of global seaborne oil and liquefied natural gas flow through this passage. All of it is now trapped. The global impact is expected to raise oil prices to $100 a barrel and lower real GDP growth by nearly 3 percentage points. What began as a regional power struggle has become a global economic crisis, weaponizing the energy needs of every nation on Earth. A critical question remains. With the government and the Revolutionary Guard severely weakened, Will the regular Iranian army and the civilian population support the regime or turn against it? History suggests that air power alone rarely achieves regime change. Without a ground invasion, the final outcome of the operation remains highly uncertain. For now, the world is left to wonder, is Operation Epic Fury the end of a 50-year rivalry, or just the beginning of a much wider conflict?